mark for a great leader. They don't fold up. The ordinary man like you and I, we get fold up very quickly. One small thing and we fold up. But the man who is determined, who has that grit and determination to take charge and to do it with the grace of God and with his own determination, they find a way. And to every problem, there is a solution. We have to look at it. So in Chobai Tushya, Sri Ram gives one of the finest piece of advice in this Chobai Tushya sings. Dharmana dusara satya samana agama nigam purana vakana. He's saying that he's quoted the scriptures now to endorse what he was saying. He says, there is no duty that is equal to truth and to honesty. There is no duty that's equal to truth and honesty. Tell me of a leader today on whom you can say, this is it. Tell me of such a leader. We can't find leaders like that. But in those times, these were the qualities that the great leaders had. This is what they lived by. They lived by scriptural teaching, because Sri Ram quotes down the scripture. He says, Agam Nigam Puran. Nigam are the Vedas. The Vedas is the highest form of knowledge. It's the first book that was ever known to man. And it encapsulates all the knowledge you could think about. Science, literature, whatever. Everything you could talk about. He says that these great scriptures have encouraged man to live according to truth. And he said, truth is the greatest dharma of all. Dharma dusara satya samana. There is no greater religion than truth. And if one lives by the truth, then there is nothing, you have to do nothing. He says, Mai soi dharmu sulabh kari pawa tajeti hupur apajas chhawa. He said, this duty that has been, I have being able to fulfill. This duty that my father requested is no pressure on me, because I want to uphold the dignity and honor of my father's word. And I don't care. I am not pressured into this. I have taken this willingly. How many sons of today would do that? How many children of today would live that principle? Before you are 10, you're already cursing your parents and doing all kinds of things. Your parents can't control you. It was not like that in my days. I know I get the belt, and that settled everything. There's nothing else you had to do. But today, you have all kind of philosophy and all type of thing you have to impose on these children to get them to understand a simple, basic thing. So, the education system is something seems to have a problem, a great problem. He's saying that this duty I am fulfilling without putting myself to any trouble. I don't see it as a trouble. I see it as an honor to be able to uphold the dignity of my father. His word, I could have reneged, but I want to uphold my father's word. He says, and to abandon, to abandon it would mean disgrace in all the three spheres. To abandon it would mean disgrace in all the three spheres. Look how he's thinking. The heavenly region, the earth region, and Patal. In all spheres. That's why he's called Maryada Purushottam, a special kind of man. He descended from the heavenly abode so that we can follow his dharma, his activities, to uphold truth and honor, to respect and honor your parents. You know, Christ has put it very nicely. Honor thy father and thy mother, so that the days the Lord thy God has given thee upon this land shall be long and everlasting. Do we honor our parents today? And I will tell you, if you can't love and honor your parents, don't even think about, say, I am honoring God, I love God. If you can love, you can't love those whom you see. Those who went through all the rigors to make you what you are, you can respect and honor them. Don't tell me you want to respect God. That is a big fast. Your parents are okay. If you ever wish to understand God, understand first your mother and father. Understand them. If you can't understand them, you could never understand God. Because God gave them to us so that we can understand Him. And when you look at the sacrifices that a parent makes, I mean, it's unbelievable for the welfare of his child. That's why Radha Dasharatha, as a parent, he had to honor, as a king, he had to honor his word. As a parent, he wanted to renege. He said, just take them there. Let them have a bath and then bring them back home. But Sri Ram, he is of that nature. I will honor my father. I could come home. My father gave me the wherewithal to come home. But now he's saying, truth is an honor. I want to live by truth. I want to uphold the dignity and honor of my father's word. When I maintain that, I know I have lived, according to the scriptures. That truth and honor is a part of my life. He makes a very serious pronouncement to Siddhartha in Sopai. भावित कहु अपजस लाहु, भावित कहु अपजस लाहु, मरन कोटि दारुण जाहु, मरन कोटि दारुण जाहु। जय राम जय राम जय जय राम, जय राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
मगन जात बहुत काहू, हीरे उजरु कृपा जगलाहु। जय राम जय जय राम, जय राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम, श्री राम जय 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 राम, श्री राम संभावित कहु अपजस लाहु, मरण कोटि सम दारुण दाहु। Listen how seriously Sri Ram took this. He said, disgrace to a man of honor. A man of honor, if you are disgraced at some point in time, he says that is most terrible. He says the anguish that causes is like a myriad deaths. In other words, he's saying, I prefer to die than to lose my honor and dignity. That cannot replace, nothing could replace one's honor and dignity. Nothing. I prefer to die rather than give up my honor and dignity. He says, now he's speaking to Sumantra, the advisor to his father. So he's educated him as to the enormity of what is expected of him as a ruler and as advisor to the ruler. These are the things you have to go by. So he says, Tumha sanatata bahutaka kahu diye utaru firi patak lahu. He's saying here, what more shall I tell you? Is there anything more to say? I think I have adequately addressed what this situation is. And now I think he understands fully well what his position is and where Sri Ram stands. He says, there is no point in deliberating this further. And I bring my lesson to an end this evening with Doha Tulsidas 6. I want to thank you all for having listened, in this way. You're one of the best audiences I've had in a long time. I must tell you that. So you're all worthy. I'm deeply honored to have you as my audience this evening. So I bring my lesson to an end, Tulsidas 6. Jai So now that he has fully instructed him, it's time for Suman to leave to go back and report to the king. Listen to the instructions he gave him in order to make his father comfortable. He says, Pitupat. Pitupat means the feet of my father. Pitupat agahi kahikotinit binaya karabu karajuri. He said, clasp my father's feet, and with many humble salutations and folded hands, he says, Chinta kawani hutata kahi tata kariya janimodi. He says, beg of him not to distress himself in any way on my account. The father is worried about him. He says, go, touch his feet, talk to him, and tell him, do not distress himself in any way on my account. I am happy, I am comfortable, and I feel I am a better son by upholding his words. So please comfort my dad. If he is comforted, I am happy. So my dear friends, we all face very grim situations in our life. Many. Sometimes we think it is difficult. As indeed what the home faces here today. It's not an easy thing. And everybody faces that at some point in time. But we can override the difficulties. As Sri Ram was indicating very subtly to all those, to Sumanta, about all those kings who underwent great difficulties, but they stood strong and they fought and they came victorious. There is only one way in a situation like this. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that birth and death go hand in hand. The moment we are born, every second thereafter is a step towards the grave. We have been here for the last hour or so. We are closer to our grave by 1 hour. At some point in time, we will all be there. So he says, in a situation like this, simply chant the name of the Lord. And that is the only way in which we can get through this. If I told you there's a shoulder that we want to cry upon, it's the Lord. All of us have our certain convictions and faith and what have you. What is important is your mind, your heart. Say God dwells in the heart. If your heart is free from anxiety, from lust and greed and anger and hypocrisy and so on, it becomes a temple for the Lord to reside. So Valmiki tells Sri Ram, my Lord, he in whose heart there is an absence of greed and lust and anger and hatred and what have you, who have that special kind of, he said, my Lord, such persons' hearts are all cleansed to receive you. Go there and make that heart your home. We don't have to be in a special kind of religion to do that, my friends. We don't have to follow a special kind of faith. This is a universal teaching. And you could be in whatever faith. If your mind is not fixed like that, then God can reside there. God resides in that heart, in which there is purity, in which there is love, there is peace and calm. So I want to express on behalf of the family our grateful thanks to all of you for having come. I know you came because of Rodney, and he was indeed a wonderful, a special person, very quiet, easygoing guy. He always has a smile on his face. When I came here in this country, we were attending the same temple. And I have known him since then. And he is a very great guy. And your presence here is a clear indication that you have also observed that in him. And that's why you are here. And there is a purpose for us coming together like this. Whenever we go to a wake, is not just to say accept my sympathy. Our Dharma says there is a greater purpose for your being here. Your purpose here is to offer a word of prayer on behalf of that departed soul. When you would have done that with love and devotion, then your presence here is meaningful. Because if a dog were to die, none of us would be here. If any other animal, in the law animal kingdom were to die, we would not congregate like this. But of all the creation in this world,